Well, good evening, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening this not this Saturday night, this Tuesday night. This is a special show, exclusive show. Normally, I'm on Thursday night and Saturday night, but tonight is a very exclusive show, and I want to welcome those who are on TikTok, those who are on Facebook, and those on Instagram, and especially those on YouTube. And most importantly, if you can come over onto YouTube, which is Silburn TV. And of course, you can always watch the replay. Hi, Mommy Sandy. Hi, Jacqueline. And hi, those on TikTok. Well, tonight is a very interesting show. And I tell you what it is going to be about. I have the High Commissioner of Jamaica to the UK who is here tonight. And the discussion is going about the helping Jamaica rebuild after Hurricane Beryl. Yeah, helping Jamaica rebuild after Hurricane Beryl. And I would have His Excellency Alexander Williams, High Commissioner for Jamaica, who is going to be explaining as to what Jamaica can do, Jamaicans in the diaspora can do, and also Jamaicans also in Jamaica can do as we look at how the impact of Hurricane Beryl has, because that gallows was bad. I understand, really, in some places like in St. Clarendon and St. Elizabeth and different parts of Jamaica. And of course, you have areas in Jamaica which people are still waiting on electricity as well. JPS is doing a fantastic job, and the government, of course, is working at it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the High Commissioner, and we can get the ball rolling. And thank you. Hi, good evening to you, sir. High Commissioner Alexander Williams. How are you doing, sir?
Great, and how are you, Silburn?
Well, I'm cool in the Malibu. We got some nice weather. Has been great in the UK. I guess you have brought it here, so thank you so much for
When
that.
when you say the weather is great in the UK, that's always relative. Remember, you're talking to a Jamaican.
Yes.
Yes.
But I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight at so short notice, and as well welcome you again to the UK. You've been here for. You can explain how long you've been here, Commissioner, sir.
Well, I'm a bit of a newbie. I've been here
Yeah.
since October of last year.
Yes.
So I've already experienced a UK winter,
Yes.
which wasn't a pleasant experience, but I survived. I take my cod liver oil tablet and my vitamin D regularly.
Yes.
I don't not Earl Grey tea in the morning. I still drink coffee, but yeah,
I'm actually drinking some coffee. It's in my Jamaican
excellent,
coffee.
excellent.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been hectic and all on. I'm pleased to engage the diaspora at all levels. It's a constant thing. And of course, now, I'm pleased to be in this position to assist in the relief effort on the passage of that rather cheeky lady Beryl, who decided to affect us in a rather serious way. So I'm glad to be here to assist in the coordination of the efforts to see to the recovery of Jamaica.
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And firstly, tell us the sort of impact that Hurricane Beryl had on Jamaica officially.
Okay, let me say first of all that the impact was extensive, particularly to the parishes of St. Elizabeth and Clarendon. Even though Hurricane Beryl passed south of the island, which is quite frankly not a completely good thing because it's not the ice so much as the associated winds and rain with the outer bands that caused the damage. There are other Caribbean territories that I don't mind telling you suffered worse damage than us. That is true. And the truth is it could have been worse than how bad it is now. But we're still talking about at the height of the in the immediate aftermath of the storm, 60% of the island was without electricity, hardly any communication capability, and so on.
mm.
I understand as at July 10, the JPS says that they have restored electricity to 90% of the island. But what I've been gathering from, being trying to keep my ears on the ground as much as possible, we're talking about main areas. So there are a lot of areas outside your main road or what have you that are still without electricity.
Right.
The hardest areas are St. Elizabeth and Clarendon. Over 1,000 homes, I understand, have lost their roofs and all of that. Over roughly 400 roads were damaged or blocked. And we had over a billion, over $1 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion in estimated damage just to
Mm.
hospitals and health clinics.
Yes.
So, and if you'll notice from our, and I know we'll get to it, from our needs list, you will see heavy reliance on farm supplies and what have you is largely due to the situation in St. Elizabeth and Clarendon,
Mm.
who by the way, I understand large swaths of those areas are still without electricity right now. But just as you mentioned in your opening, the JPS is working assiduously to restore complete power to all its customers. And I understand if the foreign assistance is not yet in place, it shortly will be to assist them in that effort.
Yeah. And I noticed also that as you some of the statistics, 385 roads block, 1 billion estimated damage to hospitals and health clinics, 1,000 plus home damage or destroyed, three utilities limited access to three key utility, electricity, water, and cell service in worst affected areas. What what about the overseas assistance at the same time? Even though we're going to go into the different bits of where.
So, I don't mind. First of all, let me say that as you can imagine, I sit in the CARICOM caucus here in
Yes.
London, and assistants, without me even needing to reach out, I'll tell you, they have reached out to me, the different countries in other countries in the Caribbean, offering their assistance. I even got from Grenada, can you imagine, who were so Carriacou that was so severely affected by
Mm.
even the High Commissioner from Grenada even offered her assistance as well. So we have those offers of assistance. Is just the next step now on how we coordinate that, because we have to work at all stages through our Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. So international appeals have gone out. The Commonwealth Secretary General, through her offices, has reached
Yes.
out well with offers of assistance. I've provided, and we have provided the needs list and the bank account to them.
Mm.
So I suspect donations will be made there. So there has been the King himself, I can tell you, the
Mm.
King has
Yes.
spoken to the Prime Minister, offering his regrets on the passing of the storm, and I understand has pledged in whatever way he can assist in relief effort and prod the government, so to speak, assist in that way.
So we
So
need to keep the king in place for the time being. Then.
I'm sure even if he were a republic, he would still be offering himself and so on. So
Yes.
yeah, and there are a number of different agencies, World Food Program, USAID,
Yes.
are also on the ground, I don't mind telling you, assisting our Hurricane Beryl Relief Coordination Committee, with a
Yes.
special committee set up by the Prime Minister, involving mostly state agencies, but some private sector individuals as well, who are coordinating the relief effort.
Yes.
So we have those international agencies working in tandem with the committee, and ODPEM is,
Yes.
of course, the clearinghouse for all of this.
One of the things one seemed to gather is that the information, there have been successive hurricanes around, but it's somehow that the information is not coming through as to the assistance and the need. But of course, this is why we are here now still. But would it say that there's a lack, or there's too many voices out there at the same time, and it's not that coordinated?
Well,
Yes.
but first of all, as you can imagine, one of the one of the benefits that we have in being who we are
Mm.
is that we have a diaspora community in just about every nook and cranny in the world.
Yes.
And each and every diaspora community are doing their own thing to assist in the relief efforts.
Yes.
I can point to the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, who is doing assistance, certainly through the southern region,
Mm.
is doing their own thing. It's the same thing happening in New York, in Canada, in Europe, across the world, wherever there's a diaspora community. So yes, the space might seem a little crowded,
Yes.
a lot of talk and a lot of effort, and a lot of stuff going on. And the truth be told is that I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. We as Jamaican government, and I represent the Jamaican government, must stay in its line, in its, and not step on those toes or be in conflict with what those other organizations are doing.
Doing at
So
that
we have
time.
been kind of deliberate about what we're doing. We have established a particular website and an account for which direct donations can be made to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, who
Yes.
will then deploy the funds to deal with the key areas and needs that
Yeah.
are partly reflected by the needs list and
Mm.
partly reflected by national imperatives, So we're doing that, and that's the coordinated thing that we're doing.
Yes. Should we, whenever you're ready, we can go through the needs list or so. Let me know. Yeah.
Sure, I'm ready now. If you
Okay.
are.
Okay.
So yes, so there's a needs list which we have circulated on all social media platform as well as on our website.
Yeah. I'm gonna
And
put it up here
yes,
now.
right. So it starts with the link for donations. There's one through the website, and then there's another one for wire transfers to the Office of Disaster Preparedness. But just
So
to say to your listeners, the website is
yes.
disasterfund.opm.gov.jm/donate. And let me
Okay.
repeat, it is
And
disaster. You
I've
have
got
it
that
up,
up there. I got that
right?
up there as well. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right? So disasterfund.opm.gov.jm/donate, where they can make their contribution, any amount, of course, they
Mm.
can make their contributions there. Now, let me just say something about the needs list. And let me
Yeah.
begin by saying what is not on the needs list. What is
Yes.
not on the needs list is clothing, or what is not on the needs list are second-hand items. All
Yes.
right. So don't please just to read. I know people want to donate whatever they can possibly donate, but because of shipping issues and use issues and all of that, can't get into the clothing, and used items are problematic when they get to Jamaica. It depends on the state of use of the particular item and so on. That might, after government has paid the clearing costs and all of that at the port, it may not make much sense for the
But
particular item.
is there much need for clothing in that area still at the same time?
That's the next thing. That's the next thing too. There isn't any great need for clothing. That's not
Yes.
really the area of that. So you'll see electrical equipment, and of course it needs to comply with the
Yes.
voltage requirements in Jamaica, which is a 110 volts. So
Yes.
if you're going to buy any electrical, a generator, chainsaw machines, water pumps, weed hackers, pumps, and so on, you see the entire list there. You would
Yes.
have to. I would suggest one way of going about it is buying on Amazon the US site, and
Yes.
then have that sent to Jamaica, or you could collect it here, I suppose, and then we ship it
Amazon
out.
is now going directly to Jamaica now as well.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Search and rescue, the items under their disaster response specialists are
Yes.
needed, the actual specialists. All right. Rescue boats, safety vets, life vests, and all of that. The other
Someone,
thing is, yeah,
someone had asked a question there. Some question which came through is how would you um, sort of disseminate these sort of equipments or so in what here? Is there like a need list which is coming up from the people
Well,
in
this is
order?
coming from, well, yes.
Yeah,
In a
for
short
the people
answer,
in
it is
Jamaica.
yes. The
Yeah,
people who, what is happening is that ODPEM is doing the assessment on the ground, and
right,
ODPEM is getting it from the people.
right.
So they will go to the different communities and what have you, and they
Yeah,
say, yes, we need this amount of weed whacker in this locality, in
yeah.
this other local. We're gonna need electric. We're gonna need generators. Looks
Yes.
like we have 10 houses on this road. We're gonna need 10 generators or
Mm,
8 generators to service that, and so on and so on.
okay.
So that's and it's the same for all the other items: the building supplies and tools, the farming supplies,
Mm.
shelter supplies, and so on. You
Can I
know.
just can I just ask this list here, which we are talking about now, while it
Mhm.
is there for the diaspora, but this is also for people home as well to supply as well. It's not just. Is it just for the diaspora?
It's not just for the diaspora; it is
Okay.
also applicable to Jamaica.
Okay. So
So
it's a
it's a
general
general,
generally.
overarching needs list.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. And
yeah, and
yeah. Sorry.
yeah, and just to say again, this needs list has been carefully curated by
Yeah.
ODPEM, and each mission, and as we did, looks over the needs list, and we make whatever suggestions and adjustments that we feel. All
Yes.
right. So that is it really.
Mm. And
Mhm.
AdPen, can you explain AdPen for the purpose of the listeners as well?
ODPEM?
AdPen,
Yes.
the
So
yeah,
ODPEM is the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
yes,
I don't mind telling you, internationally rated, and
yes,
they are in charge of disaster risk management as well as the aftermath of a disaster. I don't mind saying this, and I don't think I can be contradicted much,
yes,
that ODPEM at this point in time is a fairly well oiled machine. They have a lot of experience, and part of the reason why things haven't been as bad as they could be is because of the preparatory work that was done, not just by ODPEN, but by other state agencies and so on, and by what they're doing now. So they are the ones, are the technical experts, geologists, we call it weather people, soldiers, don't
yes.
mind telling you that. All the right expertise exists in ODPEN.
Is that Mr.
So
Chung now in charge of it?
I
That
forget the
right?
name. I'm in touch with Mr. Thompson, is the person I'm
Okay,
in touch with. Mr. Richard Thompson at
okay,
ODPEN. Yeah,
yes,
he's the director general.
yes,
So and he, Mr. Thompson, has extensive experience for quite a long time in this area.
yes, yes.
So yeah, so they're the experts who know
Mm,
exactly how to deploy the resources and when to deploy the resources, because
I-
sometimes you might push the goods and stuff in an area and they don't get disseminated. There are bottlenecks and what have you because there's not been proper coordination.
yes,
ODPEM will see to the coordination.
yeah. I want to look at the farming bit because I heard that the farming has been hit very
Yes,
strongly in Jamaica, and I'm looking at the farming section here. With if you can
and you
elaborate,
yes, and you will see that the farming supplies is the longest list of supplies,
yes,
which
yes,
mirrors the fact of the areas that have been severely hit, St. Elizabeth and Clarendon. So we have chicken waterers and feeders, seed planters, reaping crates, seeding trays, water boots, soil testing kits, garden forks, machetes, spades, hoes, shovels, axes, pickaxes, cold storage igloos, and they say all sizes, barbed
mm,
wire, mesh wire, hog wire, fishing nets, animal feed and medication, and so on and so on and so on. Long list.
yeah,
Now, I'm just to say, the needs list is not saying that we don't have any of these items on the island. It is not
yeah,
saying that. It is just saying that because of the hurricane, we're particularly hit with shortages in these areas.
yes,
So yeah, it's a complete list of fungicides, pesticides, insecticides, um, greenhouse metal poles, fertilizers, dripping irrigation hoses, plastic mulch, pond liners, the list goes on and on.
Yes,
So
yes,
I would say to anybody, you go on social media, you go on the website, whatever, and your show,
yes,
and you
yes,
will
yes.
see the needs list. And if you feel that you can donate into any one of those areas, please go ahead and do so.
Fantastic, fantastic. And you keep emphasizing this bit here, which, well, not you, but it emphasized on the list with only new items from this list will be accepted, and all
Yes,
donations must be properly labeled. Yes.
yes.
What about a second hand? Something which is very good. I commission. Somebody
Sorry?
has. What about someone have this second hand good equipment or so, and they
We
want to just.
just the truth is we can't open that door. Once
Yes.
you open that door, we're in problem.
Right.
Because
Right.
then we'll have to assess, how good is the second-hand item and so on. Because
Yes.
all of this is AdPem is going to go through these items, they're gonna
Yes.
check how good they are, how useful they are, and so on. And
Yes.
once you tie up AdPem in doing that, you're slowing down the process
Yes.
of getting the new items
Yes.
to those who need it.
And
They're
and
gonna
and,
add a
and,
layer.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You're
And
gonna
at the
add a
same,
layer of
yeah, sure,
administration and AdPem that we're trying to avoid.
sure. And at the same time, these are also before they go to Adpen and in Jamaica, these are you're also vetted. They're also vetted from here, from the UK.
Oh yes, yes.
From
At the drop-off locations,
yes,
when they leave the items, there will be a vetting that will take place there. The
yes,
shippers will look at the items and say, "Well, this can go or this can go," and what have you. They're going to absolutely do that, and I
yes, yes,
hope with that they won't be bothered too much with that. And people will just stick to new items so that
yeah.
we don't have too much of a bottleneck there.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining. I'm with on High Commissioner Alexander Williams, High Commissioner to the UK. Those on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and also TikTok. Dr. Ransford Davidson, how are you? From Ochi man. Like I'm an Ochi man and I commission. So I have to big up all the Ochi people when they come on. I understand you're from Ochi as well, Mr. I commission. Are you from Ochi?
I am not from Ocherius. I'm actually well, born in Kingston, lived most of my youthful years in Spanish Town, and
Yes.
went back to Kingston. So I don't
Yeah.
know what that makes me. I regard myself as a Spanish Town man, I
You're a
must say.
Spanish too, man. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I regard myself.
People always tease me
Mhm.
all the while because I always say this is straight out of Ochi, He's an Ochi man.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And health now, health.
yes.
How was the health sector being impacted then?
Well, as you heard, the
Mm,
health sector took a bit of a beating, $1
yes.
billion in damage to hospitals and health clinics. I
Mm,
know the Minister of Health and the Ministry of Health is working assiduously on the damage that has been done there.
yes.
I have to say, though, as we speak, no, I haven't had any recent update yet on what is happening there. So I can't really give your listeners much on the restoration of the hospitals and clinics right now. But I will certainly get that out as soon as I'm updated.
Yes, yes. And I can see the whole aspect of generators
Yes,
because of the impact of JPS trying to get things in place. The generators
yes,
are like a buffer in the interim or so.
yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, yes. And see all the different types there. But
Different.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, the dealing with the drop off bit now. Of course,
Yes.
you're dealing
So
with
the drop off, we have already spoken to, I think it's about five shippers in different locations across the UK. We
yes,
have had our initial meeting and we're trying to fine tune um, the the when. That is to say, when should you drop off the goods in time to meet a particular shipment, and we
yes,
need to give a certain amount of a lead time for them to go through the goods, etc. Whatever, putting them together for shipment to meet. Okay, so we're actually in the process of doing that. But what I can say is if somebody sends an email to cro@jhcuk.com, that's our
yes,
community relations officer,
yes,
to say, listen, I have these new items here. when and where can I deliver? You will get an answer in short order as to where to deliver the items. But we're trying to fine tune all the different shippers so that we can publish a drop off location list. We're not at the point to do the complete list, but we don't want to not give people some information at this point. So that is why we say send an email to cro@jhcuk.com and you will be advised as to what is happening in terms of timing for the particular goods, where the intended drop-off is going to be and who the shippers are going to be.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just put this figure up again: the disaster fund .opm.gov.jm donate. Is it donate? Is it
donate? Donate.
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 Yeah, we don't want to say no donut, and then people say they can't find anything. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but once they get to the website, they will see the section where to click to see donate. Yeah, disasterfund.opm.gov.jm, and they should be fine. And they see that other wire transfer details there as well. For those who want to go into a bank, rather than click online, they can go to and make their donations in that way.
Yeah, no, that is very helpful there. So therefore, what we are seeing is a coordination, and somebody was saying, I don't know if this happened in hindsight at the recent diaspora conference. Was this been discussed about disaster preparedness, just in case?
No. Can I tell you, it wasn't a topic at the diaspora conference, and I was there for the entire thing, But again, I would say it is good happenstance, if I might.
Because
sorry. Yeah, how this disaster has occurred so close to we having had the diaspora conference. Because and I know Jamaicans, even if there wasn't a diaspora conference, they still would be willing to assist their fellow Jamaicans here on the Rock. But I think there's a heightened interest and attention to Jamaica as a result of the conference. That is my thinking, So I think it's a good thing that we had the diaspora conference when we did,
And the timing was also
timing, was pretty good. And I can tell you, you will have charitable organizations who routinely benefit our schools or hospitals and what have you, and different homeless people, indigent and so on. These charitable organizations, when they have a diaspora conference coming up, there's heightened activity, they get themselves going. And I'll tell you, one of the things we had at the diaspora conference was a service day where different charitable organizations went out and they had days of service where they benefited schools or what have you. That's right. So what you have had happen is a reviving, so to speak, of those charitable organizations in advance of the diaspora conference. So now we have these revived charitable organizations now to deal with hurricane relief.
And a question which came to me, because a few persons, knowing that you're going to come on, they sent a few questions to me, my commissioner. And one question somebody asked is, given what we have learned from the areas affected by Beryl, we know there are areas that we need to improve the infrastructure to withstand hurricane. What are the short and longer term plans to build resilience infrastructure, and how can the diaspora help? That's a question that someone sent to me from actually the States, actually.
Well, let me say this much. I can tell you that the government is pursuing development orders to cover the entire island. We're almost there to cover the entire island. That is to say, regulate what you can build where. One of the issues we have, I don't mind telling you, are informal settlements being built in areas where they shouldn't be. frankly. Built beside gullies, built on hillsides and what have you, and that there are particular susceptibility to hurricanes. So what it means is the government needs, and this is more a long-term thing, to provide housing in areas that are not flood prone and have
Yes.
the necessary infrastructure so
Mm.
that state agencies can go in and benefit the community, whether it be garbage collection, police services, health services, or what have you. So development orders, that is one thing. Two, there's a new building act. And when I say new, this has been in place, I think now for 2 or so years, which
Mm.
puts now regulations in place for the construction of buildings. Now, what I can tell you is that we in Jamaica, we build better than most places, particularly
Yeah.
across the Caribbean. As a matter of fact,
Mm.
sometimes our construction techniques are sought after in other Caribbean territories.
Yes.
But nonetheless, we needed to do some fine tuning, and that has been done. So there are tighter regulations now in place to see to it that buildings are built according to code. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
So
Infrastructure work that is being
yes.
done. Road networks are being built at a scale and a level that has never been done before. And these are, if you don't mind me saying, hurricane resistant roads, unlike what existed in the past. The next era to tackle would be water and how water flows across the island underground,
Sure.
if I'm saying so. So these are the things that are being done. I don't know that these are necessarily short-term things; these are more medium to long-term things, and that's the way. That is how you deal with it. That's really how you deal with it.
Yes.
But what I can tell you, when it comes to the actual disaster preparedness and recovery,
Mm.
ODPEM, I keep singing the praises of ODPEM.
Yes.
ODPEM know what they're doing, and it seems a fairly well-oiled machine now. There is a Disaster Risk Management Act that allows the government to declare certain emergency powers to allow for state agencies to come on people land. If you see a light pole sparking on somebody's land that is a danger to the people there and to the public, under the DRM Act, then you can go in and cut the pole or whatever and see to it that the danger is averted. So you have all those things. And compulsory evacuation powers are also in the act as well. I
Yes.
know that during the storm, some people, we saw our Minister of Local Government expressing some disquiet to some people in certain low-lying areas near the sea and who wouldn't move.
Mm.
you know, we have the powers. I'm pretty certain the government wouldn't want to use those powers,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
powers are there. Yeah.
So what we're talking about there in a nutshell is that some of these particular capture lands, if anything like that, are places
Yeah.
where people just gone catch in a way. These places will be impacted if it is not very effective planning when you have hurricane, and
To be sure.
this will drive you guys doing unnecessary more work than normal if things are done
Yeah.
properly. That's what you're saying.
Indeed. Indeed.
In light of the diaspora conference, which just came back, and I believe I have the answer here, and you can confirm this. There are many professionals in the diaspora who would love to volunteer their time. What can
Yes.
the government do to make this happen? Given there are many professionals who are not part of the typical diaspora organization structure. What is that
Well,
sort of facilitation?
well, okay. You can reach out to the High Commission,
Yes,
and
sir.
I will put them on, and I will send an email to the Emergency Relief um, Hurricane Beryl Relief Coordination Committee to
Yes, sir.
say this person, and they send the contact details, and they say this person has this particular expertise, and I will put them in touch with them and then add them with to deploy them where they feel necessary.
I definitely the next step would be to get AdPen. Just give me a link up with AdPen and to get some more work what they're doing and singing their praises a lot, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yes.
and and there's one more question, if you permit me, is and this was one of the questions was why is there a perception, real or imagined, that successive administrations' interest in the diaspora is merely economic or funding or so like that. And this is
Well,
coming.
what I would say,
I,
yeah,
wa- I want to stop you right there. And this is on the backdrop of, you know, for years, and I'll say from 2004, because I was being involved with the diaspora conferences, and actually I was one of those persons who brought on the floor on the Delano Franklin that time about overseas voting. I'll never forget when they come when Danville Walker came in there. I think it was 2004, 2006. So that has been happening for years, and then with the people are saying they're not interested in giving Jamaicans in the diaspora overseas voting, even though, as Malahu fought, the minister said you can still go to Jamaica and vote. Tourism voting when we have
yeah,
election. But
yeah.
I show this one out to you, sir. Yes.
Well, okay, so first of all, it's not entirely accurate to say, let me just say, that
Yeah.
successive administrations is only interested in the pocket of diasporans and what they can contribute to Jamaica. We have had, I think, a fairly long history of advocacy, particularly, let's just talk about the UK, where I'm the
Yes.
High Commissioner here. We have advocated on Windrush issues. Can I tell
Yes.
you that on a quarterly basis, we get updates on the compensation schemes coming out of the FCDO and the Home Office. We look to have been following the judicial review applications that are before the court, and I see where certain challenges were made, and we're getting ready for another round of advocacy there. I've looked at the issues of returning migrants, that's what we call them now, going back
Yeah.
to Jamaica. I'm about to, don't mind telling you, visit the prisons to
Okay.
see what those issues are and to see that, those our fellow Jamaicans are being treated properly and that adequate provisions are made for their repatriation to Jamaica. And we have also from time to time intervened in applications for British citizenship for those here who are seeking to do that where we can. We can do that kind of advocacy. But let me just say that successive administrations, when it comes to the economic side of things, they're not just looking to benefit Jamaicans on the rock, so to speak, on the island. It is
Yes,
a
sir.
benefit to the diaspora as well as it is to those who actually live in Jamaica. We feel that it benefits a diaspora Jamaican to invest in Jamaica. It benefits them personally, not just Jamaica itself, but them personally. And Jamaica right now is ripe for investment all across the board. Real estate, the business process outsourcing, agriculture, construction, what have you, as well as skills. The orange and the green economies are ripe for investment and so on. We're at record low unemployment,
Yeah.
although skills are direly needed here. And I can't think somebody who has, shall we say, been in the UK for quite some time, suffering the weather, discrimination, if I might say so, might feel that when it comes to retirement, where is a good place to come? You can come back to Jamaica or come to Jamaica. All right. And that's a way in which you'll benefit.
Yeah.
So the diaspora policy that the Jamaican government has been executing all these years
Yeah.
is meeting the diaspora and where he is and saying, how can we benefit you and benefit us? And
Yes.
the us doesn't mean just us in Jamaica, but you and me, you
Yeah.
over there and me here. What can we do to benefit us?
And
And
and I
lastly, on the point that you make about voting, let me just say that
sure.
we're going through a constitutional reform process. It is
Mm.
not complete. I keep saying to members of the diaspora, you can engage the constitutional reform process by making your submissions. You want to submit on voting, you want to submit on parliamentary representation, how far up the ladder you can go if you're a dual citizen, engage the Constitutional Reform Committee,
CR, yeah, the CR CRC, yeah,
CRC.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Definitely, and of course, as I said, people have asking me questions, and you mentioned about going back to Jamaica. Someone just said, and they are in the UK here. They sent me this question: what is the government planning on doing about crime in Jamaica, as residents are saying it's getting worse?
So
Um,
crime,
yeah,
yeah, crime, can I tell you, is a
sure,
generational issue. It
mm,
is um, I think I can almost say the biggest problem right now that we face.
sure, mm,
The truth is that major crimes have been trending downwards for the past 3 years, 17%. You're
mm,
talking about the murder, rape, robbery, and so on. This has been largely due to several things. Let us just focus on murder.
sure,
Murder, most murders, 70 odd percent, 80 odd percent of murders are gang related in
mm,
Jamaica. Of those gang related murders, 90 odd percent are by the gun. So
yes,
once you break up the gangs and get the guns, you will significantly reduce the murders that they occur in Jamaica. And by the way, crime generally is localized. It's
mm,
not all across Jamaica. And even when you hear about areas that you didn't hear about before, where there has been a murder, it is
yes,
not a local murder. It is because of a gang member or gang members who have been pressured in another locality, move
mm,
to these safe areas and commit the crime of murder
yes,
because they're being pressured by the police in other areas. So there's no spreading of the localities across Jamaica. So we have anti-gang legislation, which
yes,
has seen to the breakup of three major gangs already. I don't mind telling you. Three
yeah,
major gangs have been broken up, um, and they're going through the court processes right now. That has partially resulted in that. Jamaica used localized states of emergency in a number of different areas. It was also assisted in the reduction of crime and also intelligence.
yes, sir,
Intelligence gathering has been significantly improved. And the next thing is the guns for drugs trade, which, um, you know, um, largely due to another country who will remain
yeah,
nameless right now,
yes, yes, yes,
has been pressured, and it is down to a trickle right now, largely due to our ability to increasingly police the perimeter of the island with boats and radar and so on.
yes.
So it is not where we want it to be, but it is actually trending down.
So you're in the process. The process is
It is a
happening.
process, no quick solutions. We know all the social issues as well.
Yes,
Improper parenting, lack of schooling in a number of areas, lack of oversight of our younger members of our society that lead to this type of
yes, yes.
illicit behavior. But those are social issues that will be take
Yeah.
quite some time to resolve.
Well, thank you so much for veering off course than where we was focusing on. But people are sending me questions, so I said, let me just ask you
Not a
this.
problem, my friend.
I'm sure
Not
you
a
didn't
problem.
mind as well as the High Commissioner. And I want to thank you so much for joining today. And ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, normally I have a sit down with the High Commissioners when they come, and when they leave, I have a sit down again. So we'll have a personal sit down face to face at some point to at the High Commission, Sir Alexander Williams. Yes?
And I promise you Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, sir. It will
Yes.
not be Earl Grey tea.
Yes, that's great. Well, just in final, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to donate, there's a disaster fund there, opm.gov.jm/donate. And regarding the drop-off locations, please contact the High Commission at crojhcuk.com. We went and we discussed a lot as to how you can help in Jamaica, and there is a wish list which I have, and you can see it up there. And of course, I'll talk more about it just as I was talking about it on Saturday night as well, and we're speaking more about it as well. So, High Commissioner, any last words, sir?
Well, just to say, thank you very much, sir, for this
Mm,
and for the interest and the effort of all my fellow Jamaicans here in the United Kingdom. It is deeply appreciated. And, um, thank you very much for your willingness and your support in helping Jamaica to get back on its feet again.
Fantastic. And thank you so much, sir, for your service as well at the same time. And I wish you a wonderful evening and all the best. Sir Alexander Williams, High Commissioner, His Excellency High Commissioner Williams, Alexander Williams. Am I correct? Yes. Thank you.
Alrighty,
All the
bye.
best. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Honor, thank you so much for joining this evening. And I was with His Excellency Alexander Williams, the High Commissioner to the UK from Jamaica. There is His Excellency Alexander Williams, just make sure that I got the name properly. And you can see for sure the discussion, and please share this for the replay as to how you can be a part of the process in rebuilding Jamaica, especially those areas which have been impacted very much, like St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, and different areas in Jamaica. You might not hear about it, but based on what I'm hearing and based on the discussion earlier, I can go back and I can say that 385 roads blocked, 1 billion estimated damage to hospital and health clinics, homes damaged or destroyed, limited access to 3 key utilities, electricity, water, and cell service in worst affected areas. I remember I was speaking to someone, and what they said was they saw the sky peeping through their room. Of course, what they mean to say is that the roof was lifted. The roof was lifted. So thank you so much for that. And those who on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, thank you so much as well. But do go over onto silverntv.com and go onto the YouTube channel where you can see more of and a proper overview of the show. Okay, thank you very much and have a good night, and see you Thursday night and Saturday. And also, just as a side note, I'll be talking about the Welsh First Minister who was gone, Scotland First Minister who went. What is happening there? Rishi Sunak is gone. All the different leaders seem to have vanished. Those the black leaders have seem to be going away as well. So we'll talk about that very much. Thank you very much, Jacqueline, and thank you very much, Michelle, and for everyone. Peace out and have a good night. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.